like to call our Waterworks and Lighting Commission meeting to order. We will need approval or additions or corrections to the minutes of the following meeting, and I believe we only had a regular commission meeting held on June 14, 2017.
So moved.
Okay.
I'll second it.
John made the motion. Joe second. Is there any disagreements? Okay. All in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Action items. Training request, APPA Fall Educational Institute.
I'm just requesting from the commission to send our new accountant, Heidi Sutherland, down to the APPA Fall Education Institute. There's 2 classes, public utility accounting and work order and asset management accounting, that are pretty beneficial. We've been sending, I went through it when I first started, and then we've sent Shannon and then Tasia when she started also went to these classes. So it's a really good understanding and knowledge and good networking opportunities too for her.
Do they have a whole day class on acronyms?
They should.
I make a motion, we go ahead.
Okay, Mike made a motion to send Heidi to the training program.
I'll second.
Any other questions or additions?
I'd like to add something just for a second.
Okay.
In okaying this, I'd like to bring it, we have got a top-notch group, and it's because when it comes to training, we go out of our way to send them. And it shows in all of them.
Very good. All right, I do believe we have to vote on the motion on agreement. Please say aye.
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 Any nays? Okay, motion passed. Safety committee meeting.
While we're on the safety report, I don't know if you have had a chance to check out the WW Live lines, but Sean is able to secure us another story in there, so that's 2 in a row, I think, or
Just about 2 months in a row, yeah.
yeah. So good.
Paige sitting in the corner on that desk. All about it.
Get some good exposure for the utility, just with everything you guys got going on, bringing in the schools to have the learning days here, the trailer, the work you guys are doing back there. It's all good things, and it's good with the newsletter getting out in the entire state. That really brings some good press to Rapids to show what you guys all have going on. So
Appreciate that.
Good, thanks a lot.
you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Well earned.
Any other comments? If not, the line superintendent's report.
How is it? We have the high tree-related, and it's not identified as weather.
We don't separate them, but generally the trees are weather related.
I noticed that the weather is only 2, and yet there are 8 tree-related.
Yeah, the 2 are definitely
They were connected?
Yeah.
So they really were weather.
Yep.
Are we still following through and doing all the squirrel protection on the transformers?
Yep, every outage we do.
Todd, has that fallen off pretty well? I see we always get a rodent does something, but
You know, it'll keep getting better because we keep putting more and more protection in or going to underground, but squirrels are still our highest outage maker, so.
I'd just like to make a comment on the fast response of returning power for those that lost power. I know there's some local municipalities that haven't experienced that same luxury, so thank you very much. That's
I'd like to add something to that. Years ago, I was working in Milwaukee for a power company down there, and it was weather like this when I had my first heat stroke. And your guys are great, and I think of them all the time. When I go from my car to here and I can't breathe, it brings back memories, so
Yeah,
you tell them, hang in there.
I will, sounds good.
Any other comments? If not, Water Department operations? No comments? Office managers report?
Keeps getting the numbers. Good shape. Looks good.
The one thing I noticed, we had quite a few disconnections last month, 100 and some.
We did have quite a few. I mean, a lot of calls did go out and a lot of people were put up for disconnect. So, and that's, again, one of the reasons why the accounts receivable numbers are where they are, just because of the amounts that we're able to disconnect.
Do the people that are disconnected, do they in a short period usually get reconnected after payment?
The majority do, right? I mean, the ones we find that don't are already moved out and just aren't, nobody's living there at this point, so.
And at what point do they get disconnected? Is that like a 2-month,
They have to miss 2 due dates in order to be
2
disconnected.
due dates?
Right. Yep. So
After one is a letter sent out?
they would get a notice on their bill saying that they're behind, and then
Okay.
the second bill would be the one that says they're up for disconnect.
All right, thank you. The Director of Finance report. Jeff, you have a graph, and it is, if I can find it, here it is. It's a bar graph, and the top one is electric purchases by month, kilowatt hour, and then the other is electric purchases demand by month. Now, I know I bring this up all the time, and we keep talking about this, but it does look like every month we do trend lower as far as, is that the top one, the actual usage?
The top one is the usage, and then the bottom one's kind of like the high water mark for the month where our peak demand was.
Sure. So it does look like we are kind of trending, we're not even through, well, we only went through May, we'll see like what June looks like. That are,
Yeah, June followed the trend, and it's also a little bit lower, so
okay.
it's continuing down a little bit just with energy efficiency, and then
Temperatures have been lower too.
What's that?
Temperatures have been lower.
Yeah, that's been,
Cooler summer.
May has been pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I don't think June has been much better. I don't think we had a lot of hot days.
But that's the case all over the country. I mean, consumption is trending down, just fact of life.
What's the driver for the expense increase in the water area above the budget, above what we had expected?
is there a specific one you're looking at, or is it?
Well, I'm looking at the table where you have the percent increases.
Oh, sure.
This is year-to-date months ending May 2017. Okay.
The one thing on the operating expenses on the water side was the one thing I noted in the report where we had an allocation that we always did at the end of the year, and then last year when we had NASC. Here, we changed the allocation, so instead of having a year-end adjustment every month, we're kind of putting it in the right bucket to begin with. So that's trending those expense numbers up a little bit, and then conversely reducing the electric a little bit. It's not the full 6%, but on the water side, you don't have as much expenses, so you've got $1 million of operating expenses. So, $50,000 is what we're talking about here, and we did hire an additional person on the water side this year, so that's trending it up a little bit more, but.
Okay, so 1 would be accounting and 2 would be the added person, so the prime drivers.
Right.
You talked about the meter data management system. I take it you're starting to discover more things that it can do for you in accounting, or that we can keep track of.
Right, there's a lot of year-end reports that we need to do for the Public Service Commission, breaking out usage by customer class, and this is making it a lot easier. That's why we're just trying to make sure we've got the data as clean as possible.
I see. And I don't know if I should know this, but you said every customer can check their usage by SmartHub? Where is that SmartHub?
It's a web interface that anyone can log into, and you can view your bills, you can see your past usage and compare usage, month to month or year to year, and kind of see a nice
And is
chart.
it smarthub.com?
It's on our website. There's a link to it. I think
Okay.
it's smarthub.wwlc.com or something like that. So we can do a little demo for the commission at some point if you'd be interested.
Also allows them to pay their bill online, all those things, service order online, those types of things, besides consumption.
Okay.
Does that get used as much as Facebook?
It does get used quite a
It
bit.
gets used quite a bit. A lot of people make their payments through SmartHub.
I don't know if we're counting the hits like we are on Facebook, though, John.
Any other questions? If not, Information Systems Administrator? Could you explain the AMI communications upgrade?
Yeah, so what we're doing is right now, all of our meters are read automatically. And they go from the meter to a collector point. We've got 18 of them in the city. And from there, they come straight back to water and light. We have one connected by fiber right now. It's over by Freddie's Bar over there, on Chestnut.
Okay.
We ran fiber there last year. We got it set up this year, and we got that up and running. So we know the fiber connection will work better than the radios that we're currently using. The radios, they're just on a public channel, and they're getting stepped on. There's other, ham radio operators and such. They use those frequencies, so there's areas of town where the communication is really bad. So we decided to move to fiber. What I was talking about in this month's report about working with US Cellular is a cellular modem. So places where we have to run like 10 miles of fiber doesn't make sense. So then it would make more sense to use one of these cellular modems.
So if you're probably running 10 miles fiber, that means there's fewer customers
Yeah.
further away, and the cost is not cost effective.
Yeah, most of those places are like out in Buren, out towards, what is that, Lake Air Country Club out there?
Yeah.
Not Lake Air, it's
Club Forest.
Club Forest, yeah.
Oh, Forest, okay.
So out in that area, you're talking, we've got maybe 500 customers between 2 collectors out there. So then for those 2, it would just make sense to use a cellular modem and not run fiber. We don't have anything else to use the fiber for out there either. It would just strictly be for that, which doesn't make
I
sense.
see.
When we initially kicked off the AMI project, because of the high expense of the metering and everything, and the radio was a good way to get our signals back, but each year, as Matt said, we're getting more and more interference and non-reads from the meters, so the way to cure that then is to get them on our fiber backbone, and if we can't reach them cost effectively, then that's why Matt's been checking into the cellular modem, so.
Okay.
really looking forward to testing that one, see how it works.
Oh, good. Thank you. Any other questions?
Why US Cellular?
It just happens to be the vendor that we're using right now for all of our cellular communication. And they had the option, and they're also a little bit cheaper than Verizon. Checked into Verizon, the city switched over to Verizon not too long ago, so I sat in on some of those conversations, talked to their vendor over there. Their cellular modems are about $100 more expensive, and they charge more for the data plan. So because we're US Cell customers already, that's where all of our contracts are set. I went with US Cellular to test. We're just going to do one test. It's new for US Cellular. They just started doing this service maybe a month ago. So we'll see how it works. If it doesn't, we'll have to go something like Verizon or something like that.
And those are like the only two?
The only two that really work. We could go AT&T or Sprint as well, but their signals are pretty bad in most areas around outside of the city itself. So where we're talking out in Buren, they really don't have much of a signal out there.
Will that eventually get to the point where you'll quote for a vendor?
If the US Cellular version works, I wasn't going to go out for quote unless you guys request it. Otherwise, I will. I mean, if I have to go out for quote, it's not a big deal. We can go out for quote.
How many of these are we talking?
Maybe 6. It's not going to be a whole lot. 6 to 8, depending on how much fiber is going to cost.
Well, we'll let you know how the pilot test project goes, then we can circle back and decide what we want to do.
Anything else? If not, the Conservation Manager report? Looks like more and more people are taking advantage of the time of day and changing their rate.
It's certain applications with businesses, it definitely helps. There's a cost savings there.
More of these people going with electrical contractors that are working on that with you, or do they?
For the most part, we have, through our auditing system, whether it's like a rate increase or decrease letter is when I will specifically look at it to see what option is going to be best, tell them whether they're lowering in their usage to see how that's going to affect them cost-wise. And at that point, we really evaluate their low-profile data to determine what that savings is. Like in this particular case, there was a huge savings.
Okay. I take it with Golden Eagle Homes. Is that the one, or with Mariani?
Golden Eagle was one of them, with them switching some of their equipment, transferring it to another meter. There was a 3% savings with them doing that, so considerable amount considering their usage is rather higher than average.
Okay.
Sean, this training that you took, is that, from your perspective, something that others should be taking, or?
Yes, I would recommend it to most employees here. It was definitely a good foundation structure. You know, it covers like personnel issues, project management, customer satisfaction. There's 6 sessions over that 2-year period, but definitely thank all you guys for allowing me to participate in it. I would recommend it highly.
Sean, who were the people with Ocean Spray to, when they had that switch over, it's in here, with the control panels? Did you go in on that?
I was not on site
Okay.
for that. I believe it was Econ Electric that was subcontracted from Ocean Spray.
Yeah, I know.
To kind of coordinate it. So my correspondence was with them and as well Ocean Spray, just to validate that they were doing the work.
Well, that's what I was wondering, who was there. I was gonna ask how they did.
Everything went, I believe, Josh, according to plan, about a 4.5-hour period. So everything was on time.
Yeah, I mean, what we're doing, Mike, is just switching off the local transformer to the area of the plant that they're doing the upgrade at, so that they don't have to worry about any voltage being present when they're doing the panel work. So one of our linemen or two of our linemen are on site switching the transformer out for them.
Okay,
Yep,
thank you.
yep.
Anything else? If not, Director of Engineering and Electrical Operations.
So I would reiterate your compliment that you put in here for your crews, that really was excellent recovery from the storm.
Yeah, they're doing an outstanding job. Very proud of everybody that comes in and works on these storm outages and does restoration.
My other point is, are you going to coach us on the pronunciation of your new engineers?
I was going to let him introduce himself, and tell a little bit about himself too, so.
Yeah, that would be great.
Hi, my name's Abhishek Joshi. So I finished my master's from Michigan Tech. So I graduated this April, and I have a bachelor's degree back from India. So I just started working over here, and till now it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's what I've been studying, so I'm applying my knowledge over here. So that would be me. Thank you.
Your degree is in power?
Yeah, power systems.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I met him just before the meeting, but where I met him and how I met him, I wasn't able to shake hands and say hi.
You can do that after the meeting.
I was going to mention too, so Jeff and Jem and I were talking before the meeting, and in the following month, we're planning on having a special meeting to discuss some LED items that are on the agenda. One of them has to do with the path bike lighting that the one group in the city wants to do, and they're asking for our help with the project. The other one is we got a lot of 480 volt conventional lighting on some of the major portions of the city, the Expressway, A Street, Grand, and we've been trying to, replace all the LED or go to LED lighting throughout the city. We've already kind of reached our plateau of what we had in the budget for this year, but this 480 volt equipment, some of it's been failing, and it's very hard to find some of the parts. The transformers are a special order item. The lights themselves are 4 times the cost of a conventional 120 volt light. The controllers and the contactors in the controllers, again, are special items, and some of them you can't manufacture. So we're going to have a special meeting to discuss that. We're basically going to be asking for some extra funds to put towards the LED lighting for the rest of the year so we can keep improving some of these areas. So.
Was that a common practice?
Yeah, back in the 60s and the 1970s and the early 80s, the 480 volt lighting was very common. For whatever reason, it continued happening here in the 80s and 90s, whereas I remember in the 80s and 90s replacing a majority of it that was out in the paper mills. At that point, we were already trying to get rid of it because of the safety concerns that come with the higher voltage. But here it continued on, and now we still have quite a bit of it left, so I'd like to start eliminating it as fast as I can.
Also be thinking about the bike walking path project and what and if you want to contribute to that. Well, have some numbers when we get together as far as our estimates and banners and what the plan is.
Okay.
When are you gonna take some more pictures?
I got pictures. I'll start putting them in if you want.
Come on, I look at it and it's blank on this side.
Along Highway 73, we just converted and finished the underground portion of that. So from, is it Victory Church, Josh? All the way to Homestead, that went from overhead to underground. So we got some of the pictures of what we had and what we replaced, and that's a pretty nice looking project. We are excited to continue that next year and keep that pushing, going towards the city and getting rid of the rest of that as well.
I got some from the 50s transferred overhead. If I can dig them out, bring them in.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yep.
If that's it, the general manager report.
Now, is this pole attachment, is that the one that you were concerned about? That there would be inadequate compensation, or is this the one that?
Correct. And they, it's going to go through basically from what we were told because of the people sponsoring the bill. But there were some protections put in it for us as far as having the PSC be the referee essentially between us and some of the cell providers. So we'll see how it goes. There's also was a 2-year basic freeze on all pricing. So basically, AT&T couldn't open up that can of worms for another 24 months. So we'll see where that goes.
Is this for cable attachments or for cellular?
Would be essentially both, but these are more Wi-Fi connections that they're pushing now and trying to get in. But there's only so much room on the pole. We still got to have room to work, so we'll see where it goes. But we're basically took a neutral position on the bill once that stuff was put in it to protect us. So.
And who?
But I wouldn't be disappointed if it fell flat on its face either.
We don't have AT&T in here anymore, do we, since the factory's down, or do we?
No, I mean, we're, Solaris mainly.
Oh, yeah.
They own the local distribution company of telephones.
Any other questions? If not, review of accounts payable.
I had questions and that, and I'd like to thank Jeff. I called him up and he answered all the questions. He's been real good about answering his phone when you got one, and don't take up the time here. So thanks, Jeff.
Anytime.
And Jeff usually knows what all these additions are.
I didn't say I understood it all, I just,
It's okay.
If there are no other comments, how about a motion to end the meeting? So moved. Okay, Joe made the motion.
yeah, second.
Mike made the second motion. All in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.